Our calendar system, while seemingly straightforward today, holds within it a fascinating quirk: the absence of a year zero. Before our lives were simplified with an accurate arrangement of months and predictable leap years, humanity's attempts to measure time were a dazzling array of ingenuity and confusion. Amidst this journey, one question stands out: why is there no year zero? As we delve into the intricacies of ancient timekeeping, we'll uncover the historical, mathematical, and philosophical reasons behind this curious omission, revealing how it shapes our understanding of time and continuity. Picture this: ancient scholars, priests, and astronomers, squinting at the heavens, scribbling calculations, and arguing over the precise moment to plant crops or celebrate the harvest. The story of pre-Gregorian calendars is not just about dates and months. It's a saga of human creativity, a comedy of errors, and a profound reflection on our human quest to manifest our destiny to bring order to the cosmos. Many ancient calendars were lunisolar, meaning they combined the moon's cycles and the solar year. The Sumerians, for instance, used a calendar with alternating months of 29 and 30 days, totaling about 354 days a year. They realized this didn't match the solar year we know and love, resulting in a seasonal drift. For an ancient culture filled with harvest festivals, it got bizarre to throw them in the middle of winter. To fix this, they occasionally inserted an extra month, sort of a leap month per se, to realign their calendar with the seasons. But obviously, this was still not quite accurate. Another ancient culture, the Egyptians, tired of the lunar confusion, adopted a more solar-centric approach. Their calendar consisted of 12 months, each with 30 days, plus an extra 5 days at the end of the year to honor the gods. Now, I'm not a math genius, and I'm sure most of you aren't either, but if you add all that and multiply all that together, that makes 365 days. Over centuries, this becomes wrong. Although it took longer, much like the Sumerians, there was a seasonal shift. The quarter day cannot be ignored. Finally, though, a crossing of the Rubicon begins with Julius Caesar, who creatively named the Julian calendar. He decided enough was enough. Consulting with Sosigenes, an Alexandrian astronomer, Caesar introduced the Julian calendar in 45 BC. The calendar was a triumph of Roman efficiency and Roman standard, slightly overconfident engineering. It featured 12 months with a total of 365 days, plus a leap year every 4 years, just like today, to account for the extra quarter days. The only problem? They overshot the solar year. 11 minutes was the difference. Over centuries, these minutes added up, and in the 16th century, the Catholic Church was finally ready for a change. By the 16th century, the Julian calendar had drifted 10 days out of sync with the seasons. Pope Gregory XIII, determined to realign the calendar, commissioned a reform. The Gregorian calendar, introduced in 1582, refined the leap year system. No leap year for years divisible by 100, unless also divisible by 400. This precision corrected the drift, ensuring the one problem that the Church actually cared about, Easter staying in the spring, was solved. This system effectively corrected the calendar's alignment with the Earth's revolutions around the Sun, yet, as with any major change, the Gregorian calendar faced resistance. Protestant countries saw it as a papal plot and refused to adopt it for more than a century, sticking stubbornly to their out-of-sync schedules. England and her colonies, for example, held out until 1752, by which time they were 11 full days behind. Today, the Gregorian calendar is the most widely used civil calendar in the world. It's a testament to human ingenuity, papal authority, and our desire to bring order to the cosmos. The calendar itself is a daily reminder of our attempt to harness time, to impose structure on the infinite, and to laugh in the face of astronomical anomalies. Now, all of this history may be interesting, and it's all well and good, but it doesn't really answer the question. Where did year zero go? This curious case of the non-existent year is a fascinating blend of history, astronomy, and clerical oversight. It's a tale that invites us to ponder the quirks of human systems, the precision of science, and the occasional folly of our attempts to impose order on the universe. To answer the question, the story cycles back to the Julian calendar, introduced by Julius Caesar in 45 BC. This part of the question ultimately comes down to a really simple answer. Nobody had really thought of the concept of zero yet. The idea of zero, which we now take for granted, was a relatively late arrival in the Western world, having been introduced by Indian mathematicians around the 5th century AD, and gradually making its way to Europe through the Islamic world. In the time of Rome, it didn't exist. When it came to reckon dates before and after the traditionally assigned year of Christ's birth, medieval scholars, particularly Dionysius Exiguus in the 6th century, adopted the Anno Domini system, AD. This system transitioned directly from 1 BC, before Christ, to AD 1, Anno Domini, in the year of our Lord. Dionysius, working in a time when zero was still not widely recognized or used, naturally followed the convention of counting integers, 1, 2, 3, and so on. Without a zero, these values just flipped. Given that Christian scholars created the AD-BC system, Pope Gregory, when creating his calendar, simply didn't bother to correct this quirk. It's simply a historical tradition where people forgot why it was the way it was, and then simply never bothered to change it. From an academic standpoint, the absence of a year zero has implications for both historical chronology and astronomical calculations. Historians and chronologists must navigate this gap carefully, especially when converting dates between different calendar systems. Astronomers, however, employ a year zero for simplicity in their calculations, which corresponds to 1 BC. This is known as the astronomical year numbering system, where -1 corresponds to 2 BC, 0 to 1 BC, 1 to AD 1, and so forth. The only reason why the general public has not adopted this calendar is that the old method is so ingrained into culture and history. If governments around the world really wanted to switch, they probably could. They just don't. It's not worth the time. It's not worth the effort. Now, that may not sound like a very good reason for why, but perhaps there's another one. Philosophically, the absence of year zero can be seen as a metaphor for the human experience. Just as we transition from one state to another without a clear demarcation, from childhood to adulthood, from night to day, so too does our calendar transition from BC to AD. The zero, in this sense, represents a void, a point of potential rather than existence. It reminds us that the passage of time is continuous, and our attempts to segment it into simple, boxed-in, neat units are more about our need for order than about any inherent structure in time itself. By recognizing this, we can embrace the fluidity and interconnectedness of our experiences, understanding that the boundaries we create are mere constructs, not definitive separations. Life is never black and white, always gray. Born out of historical context and mathematical evolution, the absence of year zero is a delightful quirk of our calendar system. It's a testament to the human endeavor to measure and make sense of the infinite tapestry of time, even if we sometimes miss a step along the way. So next time you're pondering the mysteries of the universe, take a moment. Appreciate the humble, non-existent year zero, a small reminder of the complexities and humor in our quest to understand the world as we ever expand to infinity. Thank you, and welcome to Aurelian's Atlas.